Yeah.
Word of mouth. So that's our biggest strong suit, because I think we offer something different, that we make everything here and we're really in touch with our customers. Like if they say that they're not seeing leggings or something, we'll throw some in and next week they're in the store.
Absolutely. And guys, just in case you want to know what that sound is coming through, this guy right here, Angus.
Pause for press. He's well trained. Can you tell? He's been in more magazines. He's walked runways. He's his own thing.
He's his own brand.
I know. I asked my accountant if I could write him off. So that's a little gray area. And I would never. He's definitely my baby. But people come in to see him, and that's okay too. We love that. So.
Definitely. I love that. That's good.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your process here. Like, what do you do? How do you put your clothes together?
So we do computerized patterns. So we want to walk over here and you want to see. So how it all starts is kind of with a pattern. I'm not a traditionally trained designer, meaning I didn't go to fashion school. I was a Microsoft person. So, of course, I start with the computer.
Yes, exactly.
So what we do is I use this program, and I will do, let me find one. I do my pattern design here. And how it starts for me is it's selfish in many ways, because it's really about kind of what I want. So my patterns end up looking something like that. And for me, some start with really basic shapes, and then I tend to cut them apart and put different seams in it. And then that, I think, is where my own creative process begins, that I don't drape on the mannequin, I don't sketch.
Right.
It starts here, and then I do a couple iterations of it, and it usually means I've worn it, and if it bugs me, like this is a piece we just did, it's kind of bugging me because it's coming off the shoulders, so I may end up tweaking it a little bit and doing that kind of stuff. I do have an assistant who works with me. She's not here today, but so it's really her and I. So then we go to, for the techies out there, I bet it's been a long time since you've seen a plotter. So this is where the patterns print off. So we print off all the patterns, and then we take them back and start actually making the sample or the garment. So when the pattern comes off, it comes here, and we cut it, bring it back here to our cut table.
Oh yeah, there we go.
So we keep our fabrics down below. All of these are sustainable or end run, so we only use sustainable. And when I say end run fabrics, I mean things that another designer may have made, and there's like 100 yards left, and it's just going to go to waste anyway. So we do those kinds of things, and then I use organic, certified bamboo, hemp, organic cotton, and those sorts of fabrics. I primarily focus on knits because it's what I like. But sometimes we do some woven. We've used some hemp silk. We've done some gowns. We've done some different things as well. So then I've worked with the same vendor for my fabrics since I started. I do have a couple that I work with, once in the U.S., but my main vendor for bamboo does come out of China. And I have had some people say, "Oh, you're China bad," and my perspective on that, my daughter's adopted from China, and by sheer coincidence, the fabric mill that we use is actually in her hometown. I have absolute confidence that it is a responsible manufacturing process. They have all the certifications, they are certified organic, they use ISO 9000 standards, and I also, as I said, I've developed a really long-term relationship with my fabric vendor. And the thing for me is my daughter wasn't valued simply because she was a girl, and supporting the Chinese economy, doing so in a responsible way, helps them get the education to grow as a community. And so I feel that's important anywhere you manufacture, because some of the worst fabric sweatshops I've seen have been in the US, right? So you just have to be conscious about where it's coming from. And one of the things that I feel really strongly about is that just when you hear China, you don't go, "Oh, bad, very bad." Like there's responsible manufacturing plants there, and we want women to get education, and we want that country to grow. We just have to be responsible about where we're getting it from.
All right, so we're sort of closing out the process here as far as making the clothes, and you finish out how?
So after we've cut the clothes, obviously they need to be sewn, and we have very big girl sewing machines here.
Yes.
These are all industrial machines. So we have 2 sergers that do seams, 2 straight stitchers, and then a cover stitch machine. And this is a bunch of different machinery so we can get different looks, hems, those sorts of things. And these are the things that you'd find in any factory. So we like using the big girl machinery. We even do, like, this is our handyman's jeans. He ripped his jeans, so we have a nice community of people here. But after it's cut, it ends up coming. It's white because we do garment dye, so we end up with our pattern pieces that look like this. This is a pair of pants. So we sew it, and we use all cotton thread. And then the reason we do is because we do garment dye it. And so this material, after it's dyed, actually turns into looking something like this. And our sustainable dyes have been kind of a bugaboo. We do not use sustainable dyes because it's ended up, like, this is the balance of fashion versus eco. That you do have to have a garment that people want to wear, and color is a big part of that. We've investigated starting to use sustainable dyes. It's really challenging because it is kind of, Hawaii dirt shirt looking. It's hard. I mean, but what I will say is
that's a whole fashion, though, right?
For some. I don't. My customer, that haute couture thing. Not so much. But no, we do.
It's beautiful.
I do a lot of the dyeing either here on site or at home. I have a dyeing studio, so we try to minimize our carbon footprint. And then when we have really large dyeing processes, we have one of the best dye houses in the country is actually in Renton. So it's nice that I can still support local industry. I'm not shipping it all over to get dyed. They've worked with things like one day I came in and it smelled like coffee, and they were testing dyeing things with coffee. So, as soon as it's there, I'm totally on board and I feel invested in the process.
And that would go over well in the Northwest.
Yeah,
their love for coffee.
Yeah, it was insane in there. So it was really good. So I kind of say you can't get much more local. It comes in a bolt of fabric and goes out a garment. Like, there's very little carbon footprint. It's sustainable materials. And we also do a lot of kind of made to order. So it's not like we have a bunch of waste afterwards. So It will even do things like, if a garment isn't working, because sometimes I do design something that people don't like. Happens. But we have the opportunity to tweak it. We can adjust the sleeve, re-dye it, and put it back out there. So we don't have a lot of waste. And the waste that we do have, we donate, or I work with a discounter and try and sell it that way. But I try to have very little waste.